The Unthinkable Tragedy, a newborn's death in a neonatal ward. The tragic incident, discovery, and cause of death. A profound tragedy unfolded within the sterile confines of a neonatal ward, shattering the fragile peace surrounding new life. A 5-day-old infant, Zainab, became the victim of an unimaginable event. Her brief existence was cut short under circumstances that demand a thorough and unwavering investigation. Zainab was a premature baby, a tiny life fighting for a strong start. She was receiving critical care in a specialized unit. This unit was located within the Jeanne de Flandre Hospital in Lille, France. Her vulnerability was absolute, her safety entrusted to the medical institution. The discovery of Zainab's body sent shockwaves through the hospital and the community. It occurred on July 11th, a day that will forever be etched in the memories of those involved. The infant was found not in her crib, but on the floor of the ward. This discovery immediately raised serious questions. Zainab was found naked and without a diaper. This detail suggested a deliberate act, or at least a significant disturbance, preceding her fall. The scene was deeply disturbing. A witness reported a bloody skull, indicating severe trauma. This visual evidence pointed to a violent impact. The immediate aftermath was one of horror and disbelief. Medical staff were confronted with a scene no one could have anticipated. The subsequent medical examination confirmed the devastating nature of Zainab's injuries. The cause of death was determined to be severe cranioencephalic trauma. This medical term describes extensive damage to the brain and skull. Such injuries are typically associated with significant force. The nature of the trauma was consistent with a fall. This finding aligned with the infant being discovered on the floor. However, it did not explain how or why she came to be there. The investigation immediately focused on the circumstances leading to this fall. Further analysis revealed a chilling timeline. Zainab's death occurred on Tuesday, several days prior to her body being discovered on Friday. This delay in discovery added another layer of complexity and concern to the unfolding tragedy. It raised questions about monitoring protocols. The time lapse between death and discovery was a critical detail. It suggested a failure in routine checks or observation. This aspect of the incident would later become a significant point of inquiry. The initial findings painted a grim picture of neglect or worse. The immediate priority became understanding the full sequence of events. How could a newborn, under constant medical supervision, suffer such a fate? The answers would prove to be both complex and deeply unsettling. The hospital environment, designed for healing, had become a scene of death. Please like and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Focus of the investigation: the 6-year-old boy. As the investigation deepened, a highly unusual and sensitive focus emerged. Attention turned to a 6-year-old boy. He was the son of another patient in the same neonatal ward. His presence in the unit was frequent, a common occurrence for visiting family members. However, reports indicated that the boy exhibited disruptive behavior. This behavior was noted by staff and other families. His actions sometimes went beyond typical childhood exuberance. Concerns about his conduct had reportedly been raised prior to the incident. One particularly alarming claim came from Zainab's family. They stated that the boy had been seen disconnecting electrodes from medical equipment. This behavior, if true, suggested a pattern of interference within the sensitive environment of the neonatal unit. It highlighted a potential risk. The prosecutor's office later confirmed key aspects of the family's suspicions. They verified the boy's presence near Zainab's crib. This placed him in close proximity to the victim just before the incident. It was a crucial piece of information. Furthermore, prosecutors confirmed the boy's presence near the location where Zainab was ultimately found. This spatial correlation was highly significant. It strengthened the hypothesis that he was involved in some capacity. The evidence began to coalesce around this young individual. These confirmations added substantial weight to the family's initial suspicions. What might have seemed like a desperate accusation from grieving parents now had official corroboration. The focus on a child as a potential suspect became unavoidable. The complexity of this potential suspect is immense. The young age of 6 years old immediately raises profound ethical and legal questions. A child of this age is generally not considered capable of criminal intent in the same way an adult would be. This situation challenges conventional notions of culpability. Can a 6-year-old truly understand the consequences of their actions to the extent of causing death? The legal framework for juvenile offenders typically does not apply to children this young. The investigation must therefore consider the potential for accidental harm. Was this a tragic accident, a child's innocent curiosity leading to devastating results? Or was there a more deliberate, albeit still developmentally limited, action involved? Understanding the boy's mental state and developmental stage is paramount. Forensic psychologists and child development experts would be crucial in assessing his capacity for understanding. Their insights would inform any conclusions about intent. The case forces a difficult conversation about responsibility. If a child is involved, where does the ultimate responsibility lie? Is it with the child, their parents, or the institution tasked with maintaining safety? These questions have no easy answers. The emotional toll on all parties is immense. The grieving family of Zeynep seeks justice and answers. The family of the 6-year-old boy faces an unimaginable accusation. The hospital staff grapple with the implications of such an event occurring on their watch. The investigation must proceed with extreme caution and sensitivity. The rights and well-being of both children involved must be considered. The pursuit of truth must be balanced with the profound ethical dilemmas presented by this unique case. The focus on the 6-year-old boy is not an accusation of malice. Instead, it is a necessary step in understanding the full scope of the incident. It is about piecing together the sequence of events that led to Zeynep's death. The objective is to determine what happened, not necessarily to assign adult-level blame. This aspect of the investigation highlights the vulnerabilities inherent in hospital environments. It underscores the need for vigilance, not just against external threats, but also against unforeseen internal risks. The presence of children in sensitive areas requires careful management. The legal and ethical implications extend far beyond this single case. They touch upon how society views childhood, responsibility, and the boundaries of culpability. The outcome of this investigation could set precedents for similar tragic situations. The public's reaction has been one of shock and disbelief. The idea of a child being involved in such a grave incident is deeply unsettling. It challenges our understanding of safety and innocence. The case demands a thorough and transparent accounting. The investigators face an unenviable task. They must navigate complex legal, ethical, and psychological terrain. Their findings will have far-reaching consequences for all involved. The truth, however difficult, must be uncovered. Hospital response and broader implications. In the wake of this devastating incident, the Jean de Flandre Hospital has taken immediate action. They have implemented strict measures to address the security lapses. These measures are designed to prevent any recurrence of such a tragedy. The primary aim of these new protocols is to limit visits to the neonatal unit. This includes stricter controls on who can enter and when. The goal is to reduce the number of non-essential individuals in this highly vulnerable area. Furthermore, the hospital is enhancing overall security within the unit. This may involve increased staff presence, improved surveillance, or revised access procedures. The focus is on creating a more secure environment for the infants under their care. These steps reflect a recognition of the serious vulnerabilities exposed by Zeynep's death. They are an attempt to restore confidence in the hospital's ability to protect its most fragile patients. The institution is under intense scrutiny. The investigation into Zainab's death remains ongoing. Authorities are meticulously working to determine the exact circumstances that led to her demise. Every detail is being scrutinized, every possibility explored. The objective is clear: to uncover the full truth. This includes understanding the sequence of events, identifying any contributing factors, and determining responsibility. The process is thorough and methodical. Ultimately, the goal is to bring justice to Zainab's grieving family. They deserve a complete and transparent accounting of what happened to their daughter. Their pain is immeasurable, and the pursuit of answers is paramount. This tragic event carries broader significance beyond the immediate case. It highlights the profound vulnerability of infants in hospital settings. Neonatal units are places of hope and healing, but they are also environments where the most fragile lives are entrusted to care. The incident underscores the critical importance of ensuring infant safety at all times. This includes not only medical care but also environmental security. Hospitals must be sanctuaries, free from any preventable harm. The case prompts a wider review of hospital protocols for visitor management. How are children of visitors supervised in sensitive areas? What are the policies for disruptive behavior? These questions are now at the forefront for healthcare administrators. It also raises questions about staffing levels and vigilance. Was there adequate supervision in the ward at the time of the incident? Were existing protocols for monitoring patients and visitors sufficient? These are difficult but necessary inquiries. From a medical ethics perspective, the case is deeply troubling. It challenges the fundamental principle of do no harm. It forces a reevaluation of the ethical responsibilities of healthcare institutions to protect their patients from all potential threats. For legal professionals, this case presents a complex web of civil and potentially criminal liabilities. The culpability of a minor, the responsibility of parents, and the institutional accountability of the hospital are all under examination. Risk management professionals will analyze this incident to identify systemic failures. They will seek to implement robust preventative measures. The goal is to mitigate future risks and protect both patients and the institution. The true crime community will find this case compelling due to its unusual nature. The involvement of a child as a potential suspect, the setting of a hospital, and the tragic loss of an innocent life create a narrative that is both shocking and deeply disturbing. This incident serves as a stark reminder that even in highly controlled environments, unforeseen dangers can emerge. It emphasizes the need for constant vigilance, adaptability, and a proactive approach to safety. The outcome of this investigation will have implications for hospital policies worldwide. It will inform best practices for neonatal care, visitor management, and security protocols. The lessons learned from Zainab's death must lead to meaningful change. The memory of Zainab, a life barely begun, demands that every effort be made to understand this tragedy fully. Her story, however heartbreaking, must serve as a catalyst for improved safety and accountability in healthcare settings everywhere.